Good morning. Today's message will come from Second Peter chapter 1. 2 Peter chapter 1. I'll be reading to you verses 2 through 10. 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 2 through 10. Grace and peace be multiplied unto you through the knowledge of God. Grace and peace not only given, but be multiplied unto you through the knowledge of God and of Jesus our Lord, according as his divine power had given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness, through the knowledge of him that has called us to glory and virtue, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these ye might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. And besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness. Now you adding all these ingredients together, and to godliness brotherly love, brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity. For if these things be in you and abound, they make you that ye shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. But he that lacketh these things is blind, and cannot see afar off, and had forgotten that he was purged from his old sins. Wherefore, the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, you shall never fall. This morning, in our reading, God giving us some ingredients to add. You know, when you add, it's saying add to knowledge, and to knowledge temperance and patience and godliness, meaning God is doing something. If we add these things, God is doing something. And it says, and besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue. And by adding these things, it let us know that God is just not adding, but God has a formula which is going to equal a solution, a formula. You do the adding, add to this knowledge, virtue, godliness. Add these things. And if you do these things, God will do his part. And this morning, I want to tell you and sum this message up to you today in these words. Under construction, God isn't finished with me yet. Say that together. Under construction, God isn't finished with me yet. Contrary to how I look right now, in spite of what I appear to you that's looking at me, regardless of the smile that I have on my face, regardless of the prayer that I prayed before I began to preach this message, behind the suit and tie, I must tell you that I still don't have it all together. I may look something totally, I hope it's good what you see when you see me, but behind all this smile and this look and this suit and tie, I don't have it all together. You didn't hear me pray, but I hope that through my prayers and what you see today is good. Because what you don't see and what you don't understand, that you're looking and standing right here looking at a work in progress. No matter what people say about me or what people say about you, this morning God is sending us a message. Let us know that we are a work in progress, meaning that as long as we live, that we are under construction. We are a work in progress, and as work in progress, you are looking at the construction zone. Have any of y'all ever gone through a construction zone? I pray you have it to make this message much easier to preach. But you're looking at us, looking at me. I am a construction zone. You are a construction zone. And in a construction zone, there's some hazardous material that may be falling out of my mouth every now and then. In this construction zone, that There may be some hammering and some drilling going on. Maybe some big rigs moving and some things moving and putting things in order. There's a whole lot of things going on in the construction zone. We are a living construction zone. We are. I don't care what, no, I don't care how nobody tell you you got it together or you all that or whatever. You need to hear these words today that all of us, from the pulpit on back, out in the parking lot, out in the world, sinners, saints, we all are work in progress. And as a work in progress, that means that some of us have a danger construction zone going on. We're not able to put a sign around our neck to say construction zone or danger construction zone, keep away, because those we work with, those that we live with, those that we're around all the time wouldn't be able to come around us if we posted that sign around our neck that say danger construction zone, keep away. Because we still, even though we're on the construction progress and on the construction progress and construction progress, we still have to be about our Father's business. Because y'all heard the message, I need you to add this, add that. We got some work to do. We ought to be adding our ingredients. You need to know today, and you need to say that I am under construction. Just say it. I am under construction. I don't have it all together. Please be patient with me. That takes a lot to say. You can say that easy because she's saying what I just asked you to repeat, but we should live our life waking up, stating that we are under construction. I'm sorry, but I don't have it all together. But please be patient with me. Why? Because God is not through with me yet. God is not through with you yet. Paul said it like this: I count myself to have apprehended. In other words, I'm not what God wants me to be. I'm not there yet. As long as I have life in this body, I'm going to be a work in progress. He's daily working on the building. Yes, I'm better than what I was. You know, I went through some sick days, being my off days, and I went through some sick days, and I tried to keep it quiet. Didn't want my wife to know. Didn't want to, hey, I'm finally off, and then here I am sick. You know, and go in and find out, hey, well, you got COVID, you know, so I didn't want to release that to my wife. I wanted to just let her enjoy me having those 9 days off. But even in the midst of that, she could recognize that something wasn't right, that I was different. And what wasn't right and what was different was that I was under construction. That meaning that something was going on the inside. I was a work in progress. And that's why it says, Paul said, I have apprehended. There's one thing I do. In other words, I'm not there yet. I'm better than what I was 4 days ago. I'm better than what I was yesterday. But I am not yet what I shall be. I am not yet what I shall be in some people's eyes. I'm not yet what I shall be out in the world. I may even seem like a mess. You know, if you look at construction can be a mess sometimes. That's why I want you to say that you are under construction, because even yourself, even me, I can be a mess sometimes. Sometimes I come home, my wife says, oh, I hope you wasn't like that at work. Oh, I can tell you got a different attitude today, because when we under construction can cause it to be a mess. But I'm so glad that God can help us manage that mess. So in John 1, it states, beloved, now we are the sons of God. As we are sons of God, it does not yet appear what we shall be. But we know this. But this what we do know, when we shall appear, we shall be like him. Well, what are you talking about? We should be like him, for we shall see him as he is. You know, God is working on us. We're under construction. And if God is working on us, you can go ahead and be uplifted knowing that you're going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. I'm under construction. As I said, I'm better than what I was, but I'm not yet what I shall be. Wife say, yeah, you look better, but I can tell you're not 100%. You know, and that's a good thought, because it went with our message today. None of us are 100%, but we are a work in progress. And as we go through this work of progress, we are all of us at different levels. with different levels in the process. And as the process go on from different day, we're at different levels. At different levels, we're going to be different. We're going to act different. But we are a work in progress. See, because what we find out here today, and I just want to point this out, depending on who you talk to, construction zones are not the place of peace. Construction zone, you even hear yourself talking. You hear now what they have this for, or what they have these bumps here. Why has it got us curving like this? Why are we murmur and we complain in the midst of construction? Am I right about it? Now, depending on who you talk to, construction zones are not the place of peace. It's not a place of happiness. The construction zones are mostly chaotic. Now, not only are they chaotic, but they also can be dangerous, because if you're not paying attention to the detour sign, they can be so dangerous that the state came in and said that if you don't reduce your speed, fines are going to be double. Why? Because construction zones can be dangerous. Most people will say that they're just messed up. Look at that. That's just a mess. Dangerous places. And oftentimes, places that we try to avoid. Have you ever done, I'm only one guilty. I'm not even going that way because it's under construction. That's going to be a mess. Traffic, they're going to stop and go. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. Because construction zones, as beautiful as it may be after they finish, it can be very chaotic until they get to that vision of where they need to be. This morning, we have to understand that we are a work in progress. We are a construction zone. God is not finished with us yet. This message today, what I just said unto you, will help people understand you. Being under construction, when you tell somebody I'm under construction, that will help them to understand not only you, but it help them understand me. It will help them understand us. May not be treated the way you think we're going to be treated, but it may help them to understand when you can say, I'm under construction. God's not finished with me yet. By that, we are a work in progress. God is working on us on a daily basis, meaning God is still putting some of our pieces together. For God to put our pieces together means at some point of our life, we broke down. At some point of our life, for God to be working somewhere, we got off track. At some point, we lost something. At some point, we lost focus. At some point, something didn't go well. Something went wrong. At some point, we didn't follow God's plan. We didn't follow God's path. We didn't follow God's route. And in not doing that, God had to place us under construction so that he could put our pieces back together. And as we go through under construction, many questions arise. Many questions. When you tell somebody that, be patient with me, I'm under construction, I'm a work in progress, you're going to get a lot of questions. And some of those questions may arise that one of the questions I thought about when God gave me this message, the one that stand out with me when you tell someone that, the first question, is he almost finished with you? Not only that, or do he have a lot to do? Or better yet, do we have to start all over again with you? See, construction, he's able to work with what's already there. Y'all just bear with me a little bit and make no mistake about it. God created us. And not only did God create us, but he created us in a special way. And in that special way, he created us in his own image. And creating us in his own image, he said something after he created us, and he said that once he finished, he says that it was good. No, Pastor, he didn't say it was good. He said it was very good. What a blessing. God said that when he finished with creation, with us included, that it was very good. When is the last time you told yourself, look in the mirror and just say, you know what, I'm very good. I'm not just good, I'm very good. God went through a whole lot. Creation. And he wants you to say, you need to say every day, I'm very good. I'm not only just good, I'm very good. I'm very good. But we can't just say it because that's a blessing to be created in his image. But as we venture out, now that you know that you're very good, not just good, but yes, you're very good. But as we venture out into the world, we venture out to become a young man, venture out to become a young lady. We venture out into the world to become a man, venture out into the world to become a woman. We begin to interact with the world. We begin to associate with the world. So I say we're on the right path, but somewhere along the way we got off the right road. We got off the right track. So what happened is we ventured out, we began to not only interact with the world, we began to learn things of the world. Not only we began to learn things, we basically became like Adam. We began, and that's what happened when you get out to the world, we began to try things. They had a comedian say, trying something. The friends are doing it. The community is doing what everybody's doing. Before long, guess what? The devil try to convince you, you need to try it. And when we begin to try things, we become like Adam. The Bible says because sin will find us out. What happened to Adam? Well, Adam sinned, and when Adam became sin, he began to notice that he was naked. See, and we began to sin, we become naked, desolate, lost out into the world. And being naked and unclothed, and what we do, like if we're unclothed or just laying around the house, when someone come, we begin to, or go outside, we need something outside, we begin to find something we could wrap up in. And we'll find, for me, if I don't know if y'all like me, if I'll wrap up in anything I can find. I'll find a sheet or a towel, whatever is nearby me. If I'm not fully dressed, I need to go outside. Am I the only one that, safe to say, if I just want to say this, if I'm not, we would wrap up because we don't want no one to notice or see our nakedness. That's why Adam, when he was found with sin, didn't want anyone to see his nakedness, so Adam covered up. So it's safe to say that there's a lot of little Adams out in the world because Adam, once he found out with his sin, I told y'all I'll find a towel or whatever's nearby. But Adam looked for something to cover up with. And the Bible said that he covered up with leaves. And here I am thinking I was bad. He found leaves and covered up. Once sin found him out. I'm trying to paint a picture here because God created us to be just like him in his own image. God wants his children to be very good. But as we discovered our nakedness, after we were led by the adversary, after we allowed ourselves to try something, we too found out about temptation. And the more we learn, the more the world want to try. Not meaning so much about not talking about you or not talking about me or I'm not talking about anyone in particular. So I'm just going to say the world. Those that are out in the world, the more the temptation, they tried this. The more they learned, the more they tried. Not only that, they began to not only try, but they began to explore. And that's what it says, one sin leads to another sin. After they tried this, tried that, they began to explore marijuana. They began to explore LSD. They began to explore cocaine, alcohol, and the list go on and on. They tried, the more they tried, they was willing to, as the more they tried, the world said we need to begin to try to make something more potent for them. And now we're dealing with crack. Now we're dealing with meth. Now we're dealing with synthetic. Now we're dealing with fentanyl. And then if that's not enough, then they made it so we need to make it potent. They're trying it. Let's go ahead and put it out there for them. Let's go out there and put that Ciroc. Let's go ahead on and give them that Hennessy. Let's go ahead and make that Remy. The list goes on and on. And some people, by these here potent things in life, the greater they became, the more they wanted to try. They had, when you try this, the desire become to venture out. When you tried the alcohol, you tried the drugs, you said, well, we're going to try something new. People began to try adultery. They began to try homosexuality. They began to try crime. Sin leads to sin. One sin after sin. Then it began to lead to fighting and lead to going to places that they've never been, doing things they never done before. And though some of this like was following this plan, there are some that didn't follow this plan, but I'm just giving you what God gave for me to give to you today. Basically, they was getting filled up by the devil's cup. Whatever was being in the cup, he was pouring it out. He was pouring out that potent thing that they so desired. In that devil cup, it was pouring out jealousy, pouring out envy, pouring out strife. Look at the world today, pouring out hatred, pouring out of his cups into our lives, hatred and unforgiveness, hard-heartedness, meanness. And this is just the world that we live in, because the Bible said that it will wax worse and worse. People have allowed themselves to become just like the world. And not only that, they have allowed themselves to become just like the devil. What a sad thing to become like when God say he have created you in his own image, to be just like him. And then we allow ourselves to become just like the devil. Well, what are you talking about? The Bible said the devil is a busybody, full of hatred, loving evil more than goodness, jealous of this, jealous of that, come to steal, kill, and destroy. Won't go to church, won't serve, don't want to love, pick and choose who you love, want to hate, all these things. Full of jealousy, what others have, what others do. We have to understand we allow Satan to pour something out of his cup into our life. It changes our habits. Not only it changes our habit, but it changes our attitude. It changes our hope. It changes on who we are. Remember, I just told you was created in his own image. When we allow ourselves to be poured a drink out the devil cup, it changes how we act. It changes how we treat each other. It changes who we love. It changes who we serve. When we allow Satan to pour out of his cup into our lives, it changes us from being what God expects of us into being what the adversary is. That's why this message today, we are reminded that too many of God's people have allowed Satan to fill their cups, meaning that they have allowed the adversary to fill their heads, fill their hearts, fill their body with so much evil that now they are not what God created them to be. As we said earlier, when God finished, he said that brother or sister, whatever your name is, you are not good, but you are very good. You need to look in that mirror every morning, every night, every opportunity you get, and just say, look, I'm very good. May sound conceited, but it's what God said. You are very good. So now with all the refills from the devil, we are gone back under construction. With all the refills from the devil, it has led us to be under construction. And not only are you under construction, God isn't finished with you yet. There's a caution sign out there for you, brother. There's a caution sign out there for you, sister. And that caution sign is saying, I'm under construction. I am a work in progress. I am a work in progress. Don't let what I have fool you. Don't let what I wear fool you. Don't let how I act fool you. I am a work under progress. And as the world state, if God, what we need to understand, God knows and God cares. God knows when you slip back. God knows when you have turned around. God knows when you need to be under construction. God knows where you're at, what point of life you need to be. Children, and now that God knows, God has sent this message to you today to let you know that he has placed you under construction. He has placed us under construction, meaning that now you are a work in progress. Next time somebody's treating you bad or you may not feel like, just say to yourself, say to someone around, I'm a work in progress. I made a mistake. I'm a work in progress. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I'm a work in progress. You mean I said that? I'm a work in progress. I acted like that. I'm a work in progress, meaning the good news that God is working on me. God is working on the building. It's a song that goes, God is working on the building, creating on me a new foundation. He is making repairs on me right now. He's making repairs on you. And as God work on us, and as he places us under construction, we must know that sometimes he has to tear down the walls. See, what happened a lot of times when we go back into that old life, we want to put up that wall of defense. Don't want the family to don't know. Don't want the friends to know. Don't want the spouse to know. Don't want the children to know. So we build that wall up, and the devil love you with that wall. But when God put us under construction, God brings the walls down. God takes it down to the foundation. When you're under construction, sometimes you have to tear up the whole road. And see, that's what God is. Sometimes God they say, how long is it going to be? How much is he working on? How long has he been working on? Do he have to start all over with? If he have to start all over with you again, he will. Sometimes you have to tear up the whole road. Sometimes under construction, he have to break things away from the foundation. Sometimes what you have to know, God have to break you away from your old ways. God have to break you from your old habits. God have to break you from your old friends. God have to break you from your old ways of doing things. Sometimes you have to break you away from the foundation. Under construction or work in progress, sometimes he have to create a whole new path. Meaning God have to send you a whole different way. I've never been on that side of town. I don't deal with, oh yes, under construction you will. Under construction, God will send you places that you never gone before. God will send you places you say you would never go before. Under construction, he will create a whole new path. What are you talking about? Sometimes, but I'm saying that he will put detours in your life. No, detours will send you into areas that you thought was the worst thing ever. Send you to those detours will send you to areas that you say you never would go. I don't deal with those kind of people. I don't deal with that kind of living. That detour will send you on the construction, a work in progress. One thing is sure, as I close, one thing is sure, as long as God has placed you on the construction, you can rest assured God's going to finish his project. I can tell you that if God has placed you, God's message you and I today, he's placed you under construction. Whatever kind of life you've been living, what you've been going through, how you've been treated, how you've been treating others, what you've been doing, whatever it is, God's going to finish his project. You know, under construction, you may see out there under construction finished in 2025, finished in 2023. Well, I want you to know God doesn't start anything that he can't finish. God may be finished in a year. God may be finished in a month. God may be finished in a week. God can finish it overnight. God, that's what kind of God we serve. If God started it, God is going to finish his project. And not only that, God's project is going to be very good. God created you. God wants you. God wants me very good. Just like give God what he paid for. He allowed his son to go and hung, bled, and died on Calvary. Paid the whole price for it. Give God what he paid for. God wants you to be very good. God wants your life to be very good. This morning, we need to know, for whatever reason, we too, we are a work in progress. God isn't finished with me yet. We are still under construction. I'm going to say some things. I'm going to do some things. I'm going to act certain ways. I'm just a work in progress. God's not finished with me, meaning that God is working on some things in my life. You can't see it behind this suit. You can't see it behind this tie. You can't see it behind this smile. You can't see it behind this skin. But I want you to know that God is working. He's the work in progress. We are still under construction. We are a work in progress. God's not finished with us yet. Meaning that God is working on some things in your life, working on some things in my life. People going to look at you different, but that's okay because you're under construction. You're supposed to look different. People going to treat you different, but it's okay because you're under construction. You're supposed to be treated different. And also you may have to do without, but you are a work in progress. You're under construction. You may have to go without, but that's okay. You are a work in progress. You're under construction. You may be treated different. You may be talked about. You may be laughed about. You may be all by yourself sometime, but that's okay. You're a work in progress. You're under construction. Sometime the road's going to be hard. But that's okay. You're a work in progress. The time's going to be hard, bumpy. But when it comes to it, that's okay because you are under construction. I'm encouraging you today to be patient. Enjoy the bumps. Enjoy the harsh. Enjoy the bad with the good. Enjoy the endurance. Endure the treatments because you are under construction. Don't complain about the long way. Don't complain about the bumps because when it's all said and done, God will have you riding on that smooth road again. That's what's so good about God. We complain about that construction zone. We complain about the flag man out there. We complain about them sitting at a detour. We complain about them making a stop. There's no cars coming. We still have to stop. We complain about having to go sideways, twist and turn. And we do all that complaining. And then we talk about how long it's going to be. Oh, when it's going to be over. And then after it's all finished. Oh, they did a great job. Oh, this is really smooth. God will put you back on that smooth surface again. God will have you very good again. You are a work in progress. You are under construction. And most importantly, as I said earlier, and I close with these words, you are very good. May God bless you this hour, this day. Pray that God's words have been uplifting to you. I pray that you will not only hide this blessing in your heart, but you will share this message with someone else, because a blessing isn't a blessing until you share it with someone else. May you continually be and richly blessed. God bless you.